the meeting to order. Some housekeeping items. The Winter Carnival concluded Sunday evening. There was an agenda of fun-filled items with something for everyone to take part in all week long. First, I'd like to thank and extend congratulations to the volunteers who took part in organising the events, and thank you to the staff for doing a great job of putting everything together. Winners of the Carnival's contest included the Crescent Collegiate Hockey Team, who won the cup at this year's Carnival Cup Challenge. Keegan Roach got the prize for coming up with the Carnival slogan contest, Fun, Friends and Snow, Come On, Let's Go. Ray Green won the Tastiest Chili contest. Dawson and Jason O'Keefe were the takers of the Scavenger Hunt contest prize. There was a four-way tie for the Snow Sculpting contest. The winners were Kennedy, Alexa and Ainsley, David Kelly, Tommy Leonard and family, and Nicholas Kerr. And the grand prize draw winner was Wayne Collins of Southeast. Congratulations to all winners and to all who took part in Winter Carnival 2020. As per motion to adopt the agenda dated February 18, 2020. Moved by Councillor Fitzpatrick, second by Deputy Mayor. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried. Review of the action sheet. Anybody have any questions? No. Adoption of the minutes dated January 21st, 2020. As for motion, moved by Councillor Fitzpatrick, second by Deputy Mayor. Any questions or errors or omissions? All in favour of the motion? Motion carried. Go to the Executive Committee report. The Executive Committee met February 13th in attendance myself as Chair, Deputy Mayor Pearson, Councillor Kay Smith, Mary Green, Acting CEO, and Debbie Gare, Executive Assistant Recording. The Executive Committee made several recommendations. First, a Labour Management Committee be formed comprised of 2 management and 2 union representatives. Moved by Deputy Mayor, second. Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions?
Mayor, will there be terms of reference or something developed in that committee?
I guess they'll make then and do it. It's part of also the collective agreement.
Yes, I know. I'm aware of that. I just wondered if they were.
Yes, I guess they'll do that and be co-chairs. I think there's some terms done already.
And maybe I'm thinking one rep from outside workers and one from inside possibly.
We would expect.
Sorry, two. One. I know.
Two workers. Yes.
Yes.
2 representatives. Okay. Any other questions? All in favour? Motion carried. Council will review and approve review of account HOED E001 to reflect the 3-phase development with full property water and sewer tax to be charged in the first phase development only, and the vacant land tax be charged in the second and third phase until such time construction occurs on those parcels of land. Phase 1 must be completed prior to commencing phase 2 development. As per motion, moved by Councillor Smith, second by the Deputy Mayor. Any questions?
Is this the standard procedure for this type of development?
This is keeping practice with the other development that's on the go. One was being charged in phases, and the other one was being charged in a whole full-scale development.
Okay.
Any other questions? All in favour? Motion carried. Council approved adjustment account number HANND004 in the amount of $380 for water and sewer tax on unoccupied land with only an accessory structure on it. The vacant land tax of $100 or applicable portion thereof be applied to the account. Moved by Deputy Mayor, second by Councillor Collins Power. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried. Council approved an adjustment on account number MARTM001 in the amount of $380 for water and sewer tax on unoccupied land with only an accessory structure. The vacant land tax of $100 or the applicable portion thereof be applied to the account. Moved by Councillor Smith, second Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried. Council approved an adjustment on account number KEK 001 in the amount of $380 for water and sewer tax on unoccupied land with an accessory structure. Vacant land tax of $100 with applicable portion be applied to the account. Moved by Councillor Collins Power. Second, Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried. Council approved a reallocation of funding in the amount of $455,467 from the Dublin Waterline Project Phase 1 completed in 2019. The funds will be applied to the SCADA project recently applied for under a multi-year capital works program in 2019. Moved by Councillor Hines. Second, Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried. Council approved the expenditure of $45,000 to Architect 49 for the owner advisor work completed to date on the Wellness Centre project. Moved by Councillor Hines. Second, Councillor Collins Power. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried. Council approved the expenditure of $5,000 for a marketing package for the Placentia Wellness Centre. Moved by Councillor Fitzpatrick. Second, Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried. Council approved an adjustment of business tax on account number... No, sorry, this one is withdrawn. Okay? There's no other business. Recommendation from the Executive Committee. Anybody got any other questions?
Mayor, there's one item there that's related to human resources and from privilege session.
We can do a privilege session at the end of...
Is it, okay, I just wanted to videotaping is easier now later, but.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll move on to the Finance Committee report. Councillor Smith.
The Finance Committee, met on February 11th, and in attendance were Deputy Mayor Keith Pearson, Councillor Jane Hines, me as Chair, Mary Green, acting CAO, and Executive Assistant Deputy Clerk to the Court. And the following recommendations. The Council approved the Accounts Payable Journal dated February the 6th, 2020, in the amount of $35,649.45.
Moved by Councillor Smith. Second, Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
The Council approved the General Accounts Check Register dated February the 6th, 2020 for checks number 028336 to 028392 in the amount of $158,955.78. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Smith. Second, Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
The Council approved the Special Accounts Check Register for the month of February 2020. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Smith. Second, Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
Deputy Mayor Pearson declared conflict as an employee of NLC, where an expenditure was made on the following visa statement. The Council approved the visa statement for the period November 28th to December 27th, 2019 in the amount of $3,888.25. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Smith. Second by Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
The Council approved the visa statement for the period December 28th, 2019 to January 27th, 2020 in the amount of $992.64.
Moved by Councillor Smith. Second, Councillor Collins Power. All in favour? Motion carried.
The Council approved a business tax adjustment for 2020 taxes only to account RMKSE001. Notification that the business is closed was received on January 29th, 2020.
Moved by Councillor Smith. Second, Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
The council approve an adjustment of business tax for 2020 taxes only to account number F15ES001. Notification was received on February the 9th, 2020 that the business has ceased operation.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Collins Power. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
The council approve a marshalling yard tax adjustment of $9,200 to account number CAPIT010. Notification that the business lease is terminated was received on February the 5th, 2020.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried. One question on this was determination from the port notified that the lease was no longer in. Thank you.
That council approved a business tax adjustment of $400 to account number H1/TE002 for 2020 taxes. Notification that the business ceased operation was received on February 5th, 2020.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Collins Power. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
The council approved the expenditure of $6,207.77 for 2 radar signs. This was allocated for in the 2020 budget.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
The council approved the expenditure of $8,800, shipping and taxes included, for the purchase of a skate sharpener for Unity Park from funds previously approved in the 2020 budget.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Hines. Any questions? Is this a system that we're going to have manpower to operate this, or is it something that is a pay and you use your own like a vending machine?
It's a computerized one, and takes very little. It takes very little manpower. It's the same as what Sportscraft used to use in St. John's. So what it is, it's a computerized system, and there's people that up there, like even we got some workers that we outside of our own workers. We do have people up there that work, Stephen and work, that can be easily done by them.
So it's like, are we doing that as a free for charge or a charge or something there? Has that been discussed?
It would be around $8 a skate sharpening. So right now we got about 200 people between minor hockey and say the senior hockey. So we get 200 people on an average year, and this is being very generous when I talk to people about this, about 3 skate sharpens a year. Alright, so that's 600 skate sharpens at $8 a piece, that's about $5,000 a year. The maintenance on these is very little, it only costs for $300 to $400 a year for materials, and the people at Sportscraft have got them right now, like they've got them 5 years and had no issues and no problem with them. So in the end, it pay for itself and actually bring the town in money, and it actually gives us a system that is modern, up to date, and people have a comfortable feeling you get the same skate sharpening when they go there. A lot of people have been asking about this. I've been stopped numerous times. I don't know if anybody else has.
It's also the location for where they're looking at locating it in the arena is at the front entrance kiosk area. So it certainly will utilize and be revenue generator.
So it will be, and there's a system will be in place to monitor revenue and whatever the case. Okay.
That was the biggest concern, making sure that, and we looked at the money situation, make sure that when we're dealing with cash like that there got to be a system in place to make sure that there's checks and balances in place.
And there is.
Okay, any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
The council approved the expenditure of approximately $33 per month to maintain electricity to 2 poles located in the Legacy Garden that was formerly paid for by the Eastern School District.
Moved by Councillor Smith, second. Councillor Hines, any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
And that's the report.
Any other questions of the Finance Committee? Moving on, we'll go to the Public Works and Safety Committee. Councillor Collins Power.
Our committee met on the 10th of February In attendance was myself as chair, Councillor Collins and Deputy Mayor Pearson. Staff members were Adam Green, Public Works Superintendent, and Debbie Gear recorded our minutes. We have a couple of recommendations. The first one is that council approve the application for Daniel Power to install a C-CAN on property located at number 1432-1436 Main Road, Dunville, with the stipulation that the municipal plan regulations with regard to accessory building construction are met. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Collins Power, second. Councillor Hines. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
Our second recommendation was that council approve a Crown Land application number 156255 from Bernard Griffiths and Bridget Lannon for land located on the Argentia Access Road. This is not a permit to construct. A comprehensive development plan must be submitted for approval prior to any construction. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Collins Power, second. Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
I don't believe there's any other items. We did send out, I believe it was posted on our social media, just to remind our residents to be sure to clear around their garbage containers and also around fire hydrants if they possibly could, because there's been some concerns around that. But if they, definitely the garbage cans for sure, just to be sure that their garbage is collected. And fire hydrants if they possibly can, if not, contact the town about the fire hydrant and Public Works will look into it. And I don't believe there's anything else here. And I did forget to mention earlier, Mayor, that I know Councillor Collins was working this evening.
Yes, I have it here as well.
I wasn't sure if she was excused for the whole meeting, but I know she was working earlier, so I just thought I better bring that up while I had my committee here.
Yes, I have a note there and meant to mention as well, Councillor Collins is absent because of work commitments. Anything else from the Public Works Safety Committee? The only one there I ask is the sale of assets. It's been ongoing. Is there an update on, if we have some stuff there that's left around, is there
Yeah,
going to
we were, I think, waiting for one item to be determined if it was going to be kept or not, and I think that's now been done. And I believe they're working on the listing.
be? Okay.
I have one question.
Councillor Hunt.
The emergency plan. Gives any information on that? I know that it's up to date here. I know are we going to share, like I know the people have been questioning, especially with the weather we've had.
Yes.
I know with communications committee, we're looking at working with Public Works to do a couple of videos to explain how the emergency plan will roll out if need be. So I think, I know that people will be looking to see if we're reviewing it and having it done, so, and it is all approved, is it?
As far as I know, it is, it has been, yeah. I know Ms. Gear has sent it out.
It says still with FES, but they did it with us, so.
Yes.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Just waiting back for the finalised signed copy, but
I
yes.
know we're all familiar with it, we
Yes.
rolled out to all of us and stuff, but you know, as soon as we can, we're gonna try and communicate that with our citizens, so
Yes.
that they know.
We talked, but yeah, and I know that, in each committee, I know we have looked at it, but maybe it might be good at this time to, at our committee meetings, have a look through that again, just to see if there's any changes. I don't know if any staffing changes or anything, to look over that.
I guess right now, it's in the government's hands for the final sign-off to come back to us. Right? So it's in municipal affairs hands,
He was supposed to have a meeting storm.
so.
Yes.
But there is one done, and it's all, it's back.
It's in government's hands, waiting for a sign-off. They are aware of what it is, and I guess Ms. Gare has been in contact with them back and forth and establishing what it is, so they're just waiting for the final sign-off on it, to my knowledge.
So at the last time when we were looking at the weather forecast that was scaring everybody to death, everyone on council was ready to roll on
So,
need be?
and that day, I know the mayor, our public works supervisor, CAO, were all in meetings with government. There was the conference calls with government, relaying back and forth what was on the go, to my knowledge. Mayor, I don't know if you can add anything to that.
Yes, there was some concern again as well in residents. You know, sometimes residents have been asking about, especially the flood zone area down here in Pleasanton. The town does be, in communication and contact with the environment. And, at that day when there was anticipated maybe some flood risk or damage or whatever, There was lengthy discussions and, keeping everything up to date, why you may not know or see stuff, there is stuff going on behind the scenes, and notifying people. Environment, if there is a risk or something out there, we did at that time put out to our media
Yep.
at 6:30 on Saturday morning, I believe, would have been the higher the tides, but however, there was no full risk being anticipated. So yes, there is communication that is done, and the town, we do have, as we stated before, plan, the disaster plan. We do try to keep communicating to the public as much as we can, as much as we get information, we'll put it out to the public as well. They alert people, let them know. So, if there's something that's being conveyed to us from environment of a risk, well, certainly we would be letting the people know. So, sometimes you'll hear, yes, this may or may not be an issue, but unless we're being told or received any information, it's only hearsay. And when the environment gets hold of us, we relay the information. So, if you don't hear it from the town, we don't have any information, and it's not coming from any of the people that are actually continuously monitoring them situations. Okay? Good.
Mayor, I have a couple of questions.
Councillor Fitzpatrick, yes.
One is around the snow blower, because I know that, last meeting we had deferred, or Public Works Superintendent was going to review the, piece of equipment, and that wasn't satisfactory. Where are we on the status of the Bobcat skid steer that we're looking at?
I'm not sure, is there, maybe Mr. Green, you can give us an update as to
Still looking at different options for whether we gotta have multiple uses for basically what we get. So that's the kind of thing, we're looking at skid steers, possible attachments for backhoes, stuff like that. It's gotta be multiple uses, or else it's kind of a big investment for one thing. For the amount of side right here.
And again, it was great, like one of the precautionary things we done in the event of that there would be some flood damage. Mr. Green ensured that the snow going up all along by the wave wall there was actually being removed to try to reduce some risk of any of the water coming. And that would be one of the areas that we'd actually be trying to utilise the snow blower. So I guess it's under review, and hopefully your committee will come back with recommendations sometime what you plan to do.
And I have one other question.
Sure.
And I'm not sure if it's Public Works or not. We had talked about the heating and cooling unit for the main building. Is that done, or do we have a timeline of when we'll be getting ready?
I think mostly what we were doing was more of a cooling problem than the heating problem, was that identified? So I guess the priority now would be the heating, and obviously we should certainly make sure that there's a process in place for that for the spring when we're trying to get the air conditioning part from it. So, are you working on it still?
Yeah, I have quotes on a rooftop unit right now.
Okay.
So they'll go to next meeting.
Go to committee will be useful.
Thank you.
Any further questions for Public Works and Safety? Thank you, Councillor Collins Power. Next, we'll move on to the next committee, the Culture and Tourism Committee report.
This is my committee, Mr. Mayor. I've just got off work, so I'm not entering into the meeting. I have to make sure I just entered into the minutes.
Yes, Councillor Collins, I apologise because I meant to advise residents beforehand, but Councillor Collins Power in her committee report did acknowledge so that you were there. So
Good.
welcome to the meeting.
Thank you. My meeting, our committee meeting took place on February the 4th. We only have one recommendation. Our committee recommends that council approve disposal of the chute by the Public Works Department due to deteriorating condition of beyond repair.
Moved by Councillor Collins, second. Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions? All in favour? Motion carried.
Do you want me to go over, or anybody got any questions on it? 21 recommendations all we had.
Okay, and just for some information, the chalupa is in very bad disrepair, need to be removed from the building, in the Woodboat Museum, and nobody was actually interested in there because of its state and its condition, and the cost to repair it. Any other questions? Thank you, Councillor Collins. Move on to the next report, the Recreation Committee report. Deputy Mayor.
Recreation Committee met on February 4th at 8 p.m. In attendance was myself as chair, Councillor Hines, and Councillor Collins Power. Mr. White was the manager of recreation community programs there, and Ms. Smith was the recorder. We don't have no recommendations. Some of the stuff we talked about the mini split for upstairs. That's with the public works superintendent, because we did have another one in the budget for the archaeological room mounter. So put two together, probably to get a better price. So that's with the public works superintendent. We talked about the skate sharpener. There were some discussions about people had talked about charging for the fitness room. We felt at this time, our committee felt that it's not something that we were looking at doing. We were looking at getting people involved in physical fitness and getting people up to the into the arena and getting them used for when the wellness center do come. So at this time, that we don't look at that. You know, we do have people up there to look at the equipment for maintenance and stuff, and if needed, we'd be able to look at within our budget to get something for maintenance and stuff. Winter Carnival was a great success. I'd like to thank the two managers that were involved and all the volunteers, and of course the committee, and certainly was well received and great turnouts. So I want to thank everybody who was involved in that. It's greatly appreciated. There was a winter activity guide sent out on the town social media sites and stuff, and a copy is available to town. That is very detailed, and there's certainly a lot of activities that people really didn't realize how much time they're going to town, but staff and that done a great job of putting that together, so I'd like to thank them for that. I attended the PASS event at the arena in the upstairs. They had it to basically to showcase the upstairs, the arena. I mean, you know, we'd like to have it more accessible and stuff like that, but we wanted to get people up there to see what was available and what they could do. So the PASS, along with the town, of course, organised the event. There was probably, I would say, anywhere from 80 to 100 people up there. It was certainly went over very, very well. The RBC put out some stuff on wheels and stuff, and the Music and Friends group done a bit of playing music, and had a sponsor for food, and with the RBC, and the town also chipped in, and that went over very, very well. And it seems like all of these events are gaining steam and gaining momentum with the seniors in our area, which is great to see, and all the staff are actually chipping in and getting these things done, because it is a collective effort of getting it done. And the only other thing that there was, we talked about, there was a linkage program, but right now we don't need any linkages within the town. You know, we don't have no need for it, so we just can't go out and spend money frugally on things we don't need. So that was it for recreation. I don't know if anybody have any questions.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
I have one point on the recreation. I saw today that we've been working towards this, and the advisory committee is working towards collaboration between some of our groups that they're usually separate, so they're actually working on it together. There's a youth and like a seniors group where they're going to get together about cooking and all that kind of stuff. And the frugal foodies are out there in their art centre today too. So it's a real mix of some of the youth and some of the more experienced people. So it's really good to see those efforts.
Okay, any other questions? Councillor Fitzpatrick.
I have a question on the social room. It's going to be available for a rent of a cost for $25. Is that in addition to, so how does that work if it's with an ice rental? Is it a $25 fee as well on top?
It's the operations side, I'm not sure, what's the rate at the $25 I thought? That we discussed and we came up with a policy on that.
I think there's something in place. I think there's a policy in place. I think you had to refer to whatever the policy was in place. I think how did someone had a party.
Yeah, there is.
Well, I'd have to refer back to the policy to see what it is. And just
Can
make
we ask
sure. I'll ask that to be
the
looked at.
CEOs here, is asked that, you know, the policy is something that's all, we have a policy that we relay to all councillors. And again, as well, if there's not, to actually send it to the committee, the respective committee, to make sure that there's something is in place. Okay? Anything else? Because we don't have the questions.
No, that's fine.
Right?
You want to go happy.
Okay, any other questions for recreation?
That was a simple question.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Next, we'll go to community engagement and communication report.
We had our meeting on February 10th. I was there as chair, and Councillor Kay Smith, Councillor Jamie Fitzpatrick, Ms. Power was manager of tourism, marketing and communications, and Catherine Smith was there to report. We had no recommendations at this time. We had lots of busy work. There's a community kindness. The manager circulated a community kindness advertisement, which was released on social media for the winter months, and it's gotten great response within the community. It was discussed that the community kindness is a campaign which should be year-round. It kind of allows citizens to thank other citizens for acts of kindness, which could be anything from a drive to someone mowing their lawn or whatever. The manager will create an advertisement that will circulate for spring, summer, and fall months as well. Anti-bullying day, I'll refer to that after our committee meetings.
So just back to your community kindness.
Yep.
Should we have would it be nice there that we're doing it, to publish it on our media site and our social media?
It already is.
Okay, it is done, okay,
Yeah.
and then as well have a something, a little simple thing there that what you're doing or who it is, that we get something to help people that may just want to nominate someone to see what it is.
It is, that's how it rolled out already.
Okay.
We just got good response from it, so we're actually going to continue it.
Perfect,
So
good.
it went over very well. That's why we're looking at continuing it year-round for
Sure.
year appropriate ideas. Anti-bullying day is coming up. I think it's February 26th. I think it might be 27th here, but it is the actual 26th for 2020. And I'll do a little discussion of that after. Our municipal minutes, which is now called municipal highlights, just so the information that you see, our little newsletter that's going around the community, you can actually pick up copies in different business locations. That's called municipal highlights. It was getting confused with actual minutes of a meeting, which it wasn't.
Okay, just on the municipal highlights, I think I was getting some good feedback there, because we did put them in some of the establishments, and you know, the feedbacks there, it sort of remind me of you know, when we were in the city, the coffee notes, right? And people actually are actually looking to review it. Have we got a plan there to make sure, because just the other question I had, some people were saying that it runs out, we don't have any left or something's out there. Is there can we put something into it to make sure that some of these, like I don't know, like say at the Tim Hortons, right? You know, might have been some was all left or that was there, but it's
I do believe that there's one copy in it.
It's inside,
So
yes.
maybe if we just have a little tag on it says, you know, if there are no copies, say please call the town.
Yes, or something like
Something simple.
Yes, it could be something down there, because you know, if it's there and it's catching on, it's
Sure
good
thing.
if it's there, right? And it certainly is, and I mean, if people are taking them out, right, the more the better, right? Because before we used to do a lot of like different mail outs, and the mail-out stuff is very expensive.
Well, it's
Right.
not as green either, so we're
Yes.
trying, you know, some people don't need to have a copy from the post office.
Okay.
So we also have Eastern Health Advisory, where our manager is a member of that committee for the Eastern Health Advisory. And she'll report back to this committee, and we'll report to council on the next advice of it. Winter Carnival, again, it was great. There are still a couple of items that we had to adjust because of the weather. The Mark Hiscock Band is being rescheduled to March 7th. A night hike at Castle Hill was cancelled due to much snow on the trails. So Councillor Collins will be doing that as soon as it's safe to do that. The Placentia Idol Karaoke Contest at the Three Sisters is postponed until February 21st. And the manager said there is an advertisement for this year's Winter Carnival. We have it all in the NL Tourism magazine. We're actually talked as a group of councillors at these events, and with the manager, that it's been growing into something that's doing so well that we may start, and it's our 25th anniversary for Winter Carnival next year, am I correct? Right, so we're actually going to do a little bit of work ahead of time and maybe come up with a set brand or a set logo for it. So because people are coming in from away and there's hockey around and all that kind of stuff, we'll kind of roll it into that. And I think Ms. Power has lots of great ideas for that, so we're looking forward to it. The Age Friendly Committee, again, the manager is very busy. She's on that Age Friendly Committee as well, representing the town. So it's been brought to my attention as a councillor a couple of times, our engagement of new arrivals. New arrivals for the community could be people working here for short term, or people actually moving here and buying residences. We have all the information either on their app or here at the council office or actually on our website. It's all there, but how do we reach out? How do we actually get this information to people as they come? How do we find out about them? not everyone has a phone, a landline phone or a post office box and stuff now, so it's a little hard to get people. So we are actually going to put together packages and work with some of the companies in Argentia, as well as work with so maybe the bank and maybe a few other places where, or maybe a doctor's office, clinic or something, someone new, where we can kind of communicate that we have this information to roll, and landlords as well, that we have this information to roll out to people new to our community. So again, we have this information, we're just going to try and repackage it and reach the people. So we'll be looking for everyone's involvement with that. Marketing plan for the town. We talked about this before. We want, as chair of this committee, we're actually going to be looking for each of our committees to put together information on a month-per-month calendar about what we need to roll out for communication to our people, to our citizens. So we'll be looking to Public Works and Safety about, you know, for maybe a month and a half ahead of time, or reminders or safety things we should be checking on. We should look to Recreation about, you know, what time registration for different sports are doing, or, you know, something new. So we want to have information from each committee to roll out as communication, and it takes a while to communicate this and do it properly. So to do that, there's no point in just handing stuff last minute, because it doesn't get communicated like we want it to. So we need everyone's involvement with that. And when I say that, we're going to be actually nailing it down and looking for it, giving you forms to fill out to do this. So I think that you'll be probably a little cross at me for the next month, but we'll be looking for this information like within the next week or so. And lots of stuff coming up. Thank you very much. We're going to be looking for some ideas for beautification and for our trails. And it's not too late to talk about spring and summer, so it's not too early. So even though we're dealing with snow, we need to still talk about flowers.
I admire your optimism.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions for Councillor Hines?
I just have a question and a comment. My first comment was just that that's a really good point you made about the communicating to new arrivals. I know when I was employed at one particular time here in Placentia, we'd have people come in from out of town, so the new landlords, I would put a note on the fridge to tell them their garbage day is this day. So stuff like that is really important for people, especially from Nova Scotia or from either from communities, to know when your garbage goes out, because if you only have a little apartment, then garbage can certainly get, you know, collect over time.
So even the magnet for the app,
yes,
solves a lot of it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, even like yeah, and you can catch them. That's a really good idea. I was just going to comment on that. And also, is there any date set for your next session? I know we talked about the budget being presented. Just I don't know, just a finance committee question or a communications committee question?
I think there were some things up in the air about people's vacation time, just to kind of, so we needed to manage that everyone was here for that. So I think we'll get that nailed down next week or so. We'll be able to.
Yeah, I mean, we only passed it in January. I just wanted to.
Yeah, certainly. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? No, thank you, Councillor Hines. Councillor Fitzpatrick, Economic Development Committee report.
Committee met on February 3rd, myself in attendance as chair, Mary Green as CEO, Councillor Collins Power, and Ms. Debbie Gear to report. And Councillor Collins was absent due to personal reasons. We don't have any recommendations, and really we are still discussing and laying the groundwork around how we would like to work with the local community groups and economic development groups of developing a common purpose of strengthening the existing and bringing new businesses to the municipality. One of the things that we're trying to plan between February 24th and the first week of March is trying to get a date when all of the key economic development players can come together to do a brainstorming session around the strengths and gaps in current things that are happening within the municipality. And the first meeting will probably be more of an information knowledge sharing session, and seeing from everybody's perspectives of things that they feel isn't being done, things that are being done very well, and maybe there's some identification of things where we can piggyback on and help assist from a municipality point of view. We also discussed social development programs, and that may be of interest to a couple of groups. So I know that staff are reaching out to a couple of groups around the research and opportunity identification and social enterprise program. I'll see if that's any potential interest for a couple of groups that have approached the Economic Development Committee with specific initiatives. And our next meeting is scheduled for March 2nd.
Thank you, Councillor Fitzpatrick. Any questions?
I have
Councillor Hunt.
the social enterprise application, which is online now. I think the date is March 4th. The deadline date is March 4th. But all the information is on the website and it's easy to step through it.
Perfect.
So if anyone's looking to get that information done, I'm sure they can contact me.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Councillor Fitzpatrick, yes, it's great. The committee is a new committee, and I think listening to what you're doing, you're on the right path to certainly start doing and try to gauge and get ourselves more active and involved. And it's good to see that yes, we're going to meet with all these other various groups and organisations and try to strike up the sense is a better place to live and to work. Thank you very much. Any other questions? No? Councillor Hans.
On the Economic Committee report, I believe you were away in Labrador working, Councillor Fitzpatrick, but with the Sense of Arrival group, which is about economic development and tourism in the area, we had a session, I was part of that for council, and I think Ms. Power attended as well. But, and the Chamber of Commerce and all those, TCII and stuff, it was a very positive, very moving forward meeting. And then that evening we had a public session where TCII and the Chamber and a whole bunch of people engaged. It was fantastic. It was great momentum. A lot of people attended, a lot of people who I hadn't seen do any of these events before. They're citizens of our area and property owners and stuff looking for information, looking for things to do. So it was, and even the TCII group from St. John's were out and said it was a great feeling of energy. And so that says a lot for our partners and our stakeholders in the area.
Thank you. Good. Okay. Next we'll move on to correspondence. Anybody have any questions on the correspondence from the town? None. Other business of councillors. Councillor Hines.
Yes, I want to be a second, another topic. We have anti-bullying. I was at a Status of Women forum in Marystown today, and you know, when you're talking about a big group of women, you know, anti-bullying or all the words that go around that is certainly a hot topic. And we're talking about anti-bullying and anti-harassment and all that stuff, and you know, people kind of, we have a pink shirt campaign, which is great because it starts conversations, but we're talking about, you know, the anti-bullying campaign is bringing awareness. How you stop bullying, that is a longer conversation. Usually it starts at home, or it starts watching TV or some video games, and it's about gossip, it's about cutting others down, it's about not including and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, all that is leading up to issues that cause bullying outside of the home or outside or in the workplace. Sometimes there's mental health issues, sometimes there's you know, issues of trauma and that kind of stuff, and people have, you know, anxiety issues or trauma issues and stuff. So it's a big conversation, and I think that when it carries into the workplace or carries into school, there are usually underlying reasons, and we need to help and make sure that both people who are being bullied and sometimes the bullies, everyone needs a hug and a hand to get out of the situation we're in. So the more comfortable we are talking about these conversations, the more awareness we can bring to it, the more we empower others to step up, both again at home, in the workplace, in school, and on playgrounds, and at karaoke contests. it all is important, and we all need to continue that conversation. So we're going to celebrate the 20th Anti-Bullying Day, Pink Shirt Day in Canada is February 26th. And if you can wear your pink shirt on that day, you'll show your support to people who might not know that they have your support.
Thank you. Any other questions? No. Councillor Collins.
I was like it when I was like getting into the meeting. I want to bring forward, and with the Public Works I've had a couple of residents' concerns about the fire hydrants in the town. Snow clearing is, all of our hydrants I know are getting covered up, and people are asking me, you know, I've had a lady from Southeast, I had two from Placentia mention me about fire hydrants. I'm advising residents, if they want, you know, like sometimes you can do a kind gesture, keep your fire hydrant clear around your house. And even though it kind of helps the town workers because they're doing other jobs around the town. But I'm a strong believer that I think the town needs to start marking the fire hydrants with some type of a marker identification so that the snow clearers can see the fire hydrants. I did bring it up in the committee, and we will be looking at that. But I just ask residents, if you can dig out your fire hydrant, dig it out. It's a very important you know, thing to have uncovered, especially around, you know, like when a machine don't work, when the fire hydrant's not working, they gotta go 2 or 3 fire hydrants. Yes, we got 2 trucks that can fill up or whatever, but the thing is, you know, we can go through a fair amount of water in a short time. So I'm just asking anybody who's out there that can clear a fire hydrant, please do so, or, you know, you might know somebody an elderly person may need a bit of help around their fire hydrant or whatever. Just do a kind gesture to your neighbour for your town. And that's about it on the fire hydrant. Also, I noticed this week, and I did report it, a skidoo on the pond in Jersey side. Great concern. The person who was driving the machine, I don't think they realised like where they were to, although the signs are posted up. I walked that trail, there was signs over there. But I'm just asking residents to be very careful, because if you contaminate it, it very well could be a very expensive trip for you. So anyway, just asking people to be a little bit more watchful of where you're traveling on your machines. But I mean, I hope they enjoy and have a safe ride on their machines. That's about it.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Collins. Councillor Fitzpatrick.
Well, I guess just to build on that around the ice, you're talking about better from the watershed part of it. But from a safety part of it, it doesn't take very much for you to go through the ice, and there's hot spots. And there's been a number of tragedies over the last number of months. And one that's very close to my heart is the little boy in Glanville that lost his life because he wanted to go out and have a skate on the pond with his dad for hockey on Christmas Day. So just be very careful on ice, in addition to stay off the watershed area. I only have a couple of points aside from that. The Winter Carnival, I'm hearing great reviews over the Winter Carnival, so hats off to everybody that was involved with the organization and helping to run that off. It was an overall success from what I've heard. And my last piece is, in the next couple of days, probably tomorrow, the final grading of the minor hockey associations will be out. And I can say that we will be hosting a tournament here during Easter week. I just don't know which one it is. Yeah, hopefully tomorrow. So just the amount of people that will bring, it will bring upwards of 5 additional teams to the area, which is great for our business community and great for the residents to come out and watch some hockey. I just don't know what division yet.
Okay, thank you. Deputy Mayor.
Just a couple of things. I guess I'd like to just mention and talk about the late Larry Dowie received the award yesterday from Newfoundland Labrador Historical Society Heritage Award for 2020 for his contribution to the heritage of Newfoundland and Labrador. I felt it was fitting that I do recognize it based on everything that happened, and you know, he was doing something for the town that he dearly loved when he passed. So I just wanted to bring that to the forefront and, you know, congratulate, I guess, for him and his family. They talked about Honor Garden and some news articles and stuff, so just want to mention that. Also just wanted to touch on the tax agreement with the port, and just to say that I'm certainly glad that we've got that behind us. Was certainly nice to get everybody together, and I guess going forward we all be rolling on one oar and looking to promote the town of Placentia and Argentia as an economic driver in the near future. And with that, I guess one of the last things is that we're going to need to do something. The government will have to look at something with regards to some paving in the area for the economic driver. We talked about Route 100 going through Dunville that connects our Argentia Ferry. It's in really deplorable condition. In the southeast, it's continuing to deteriorate, in very bad shape. And we're seeing even in new areas that there are some areas going into the bridge and stuff that we're seeing potholes, and certainly some maintenance issues for government. Some residents feel that I've talked to people thought it was our issues and our concerns, but these are government issues, and you can pass them on to us, and we can certainly pass them on to government for us to make sure that these things are looked after. I know there's a lot of area in the town that paving needs to be looked at, even coming up Jersey Hill is starting to deteriorate, so certainly want to bring that forward, and certainly looking on government to help us, push that forward, because our road is an economic driver also for our town. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councillor Smith.
Some of the things I was going to mention, Deputy Mayor already done, but I would like to congratulate the Bell basketball players on winning the silver
Okay.
on the tournament.
You good. Wasn't aware of that. I have nobody in the Val these days, so that's good. Right? The Val always, seems to be certainly great sports people, great groups, and I guess it's certainly they certainly do well, and it's good to see them still do well. Good. Councillor Collins-Barr.
I just have a couple of items, not items, well, I guess really to reiterate what people have said. Winter Carnival was a success. I know I was at the opening and closing ceremonies, and it was lots of people around. I didn't get to the other events because they were during the day. But I'm looking forward to next year and then what that's going to be all about. I also attended the Sense of Arrival meeting that Councillor Hines had mentioned, and I have to say they were very pleased with the attendance. I was quite surprised actually, which is good to see, and they were very happy to see there was people owns restaurants and possible new businesses in town, and it's good to see that people are out and interested in making the place people want to stay in the area, in the whole area as a whole, not just Placentia, but Cape Shore, all those areas. And as well, I have another note here, and also as Deputy Mayor mentioned, I travel those roads daily, and I have to say that Route 100 is back from the turnoff to Argentia to here. So as our Public Works Committee, we'll make sure that we're sending letters into government to remind them. I know we did send, I believe, some communication to them about the bridge. And I believe there was one filled. Now how long that stays filled for, I don't know, with the snow and plows and stuff, but we have done that. With regard to, I just wanted to send a congratulations, appreciation for the week of February 10th to the 16th was Teachers and Staff Appreciation Week in Newfoundland. So I just wanted to say a thank you to our teachers and staff who were out there and who now got to, unfortunately, probably make up a lot of that time they've lost with Snowmageddon, but just wanted to thank them for the work they do with the children and the students in the areas.
Thank you, Councillor Collins-Barr.
Mayor, I have one quick thing. I don't know whether it needs to go to council or not, because it's a question on the MNSB compost bins. I know that as a citizen, before I was on council, we had purchased them the year before. I know the deadline to order them is the 21st in the communication that was sent out. Do we have any orders?
We've already had some left over already.
You have some left over?
Yeah, there's a couple here, and you have to buy 40 minimum.
Yeah,
You have 40 demand for 40.
Okay.
There's a couple that have been here for about 3 years.
Okay, all right, because I didn't know whether people even know that they're here.
We've had some at one time, and we still have several left. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great, so if I didn't know they were here, I'm sure there's lots of others who don't know they're here.
Yes, no.
Okay, let's see if we get rid of those ones, then we'll get some new ones. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, just a few things for me is, so obviously, yes, with Route 100, and obviously, it is the time of year that potholes seem to surface out even a whole lot more. Prior to the winter, the Route 100 was in unacceptable condition. We met numerous times with Minister Cracker and government and Minister Gavin Walsh, expressing our concerns. We have numerous correspondence. There was an application apparently being made to the federal government, which was part of because of the development of Argentia, similar to as they done in Long Harbour. There was a lot of upgrades, but yet it seems to be a lot of correspondence, a lot of discussion, and not much work being ongoing. We also messaged and sent out correspondence today about, the potholes that are, by the bridge and coming around the bridge. I mean, there's a lot of potholes there. We understand as a municipality that yes, potholes this time of year they're going to be popping up everywhere. However, we deserve and we expect the same as we expect, council expects of our workers. They've been taking advantage of when you get 500 days to be going out there and making some repairs. Even if it's temporary repairs now until there's a more permanent repair being done, yes, it's still a part of a maintenance program that needs to be done. So again, I'm going to reach out again to Minister Cracker again, and possibly we'll try to invite Minister Cracker to there and let him see himself, some of the concerns there that we are experiencing ourselves. So Sudley Shore, Route 100, the loop in Freshwater is another one publicly owned road, by the province. The loop in Freshwater, when you go up around that loop, it is deplorable. Okay? Certainly, unpassable that sometimes. And again, the southeast road. So we have 3 major provincial roads here, and 3 of them needing some major attention. And council has been exploring and doing what we have been doing. So it's maybe we can get the minister out to express our concerns a bit more. Next one is on the Placentia Wellness Centre. As people who's questioning concerns, please do advise the public that the RFQ is Architect 49 is the town's owners advisors for the project. The project is moving forward, and Architect 49 is ready now to be advertising for an RFQ request for quotations for potential developers to come in here to develop and actually build us the site that's there. So anticipating hopefully by the end of this week that the RFQ process will be out publicly there, and companies then can that are interested become engaged, and we'll try to see this here project moving towards fruition. And finally, there was some discussion here again. It was the Argentia Management Authority in the town of Placentia. Obviously, the public, was there that we were into some concern and discussions with the Argentia Management Authority. And in 2017, council passed a motion to dissolve a 2002 agreement between the town and the Argentia Management Authority. It used to be paying $70,000 a year payment in lieu of taxes. Since that time, members of the AMA and the town of Placentia have been negotiating to try to reach a fair tax agreement. I would like at this time to acknowledge and thank Mr. Harvey Brenton, the then CEO, for his dedication and cooperation in this regard from the start of these discussions. Harvey was very positive and very instrumental in realising and trying to reach a amicable solution between both parties. The total 5-year agreement, which has recently been released, will result in approximately $3 million with tax evasion based on the gross revenues earned by the AMA. In 2018 and 2019, our taxes would have been invoiced at $134,000 per year. Those 2 years have now seen us receive revenues of $1,233,895 for 2018 and 2019. Almost, $1 million more than what was there. So project moving forward, that's really great because under this new agreement, it's going to be able to see us get a lot of good work done. We're not going to be having to fund our projects. We have approximately $4 million. Right? This agreement is going to represent fair taxation. It's a bridge to building a strong and cooperative association between the town and the AMA for improvements to our infrastructure and to building the assets of the town. Thanks to this new agreement, current capital works valued at $466,756.67 will be realised without borrowing any money for our portion of the project. That's a huge accomplishment. Major projects included will be the connection of 2 additional ponds in Clark's Pond and upgrade of the pump house that will not only ensure the clean drinking water of the residents, but will improve the quality and quantity of potable water to Argentia. Upgrades of this nature and future projects throughout the municipality, such as paving in the community and infrastructure work in Burton Woods, certainly benefit our residents. Further, they are drivers for improved economic development in Argentia and the Placentia area. We also going to see pond water connections again, and the pump house upgrades. These are approximately, $3 million. We're going to see a lot of new different work being done, and again, the town of Placentia will not have to be borrowing. So, with this new influx of money and this new tax deal, we're certainly going to be benefiting. The residents of Placentia are going to be benefiting with all this new added infrastructure without any additional burden put on the taxpayer of Placentia. So I want to thank the council and the staff and even the residents for supporting council in here and the board of the Argentia Management Authority and their staff, in reaching an amicable agreement that represents fair taxation to the town and will certainly benefit all the residents. So thank you to all. Any other questions? Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn? Moved by Councillor Collins. Okay, move to a privilege session. Sorry.